I enjoy watching the Corners kids running up to Linda and giving her the biggest hug they have.
I love receiving those hugs. I love it.
Hi, I'm John Poling, my wife Linda, and we are part of the Corners Chapel.
Like growing up, my mother went out of the house and went to a bar, met this man that was unsaved, and they got married, and he was a wonderful, gentle, kind man, but when he got drunk, he was not. My mother never talked bad about him, never talked period about him, but at the end of the school year, she took the car and we went to Kentucky, and we went to a Catholic church. One Sunday, the Catholic priest, he says, the children should suffer for the sins of their father. And, anyway, to make a long story short, we went to Baptist church, and we both became saved. So that was my initial salvation.
I spent the first 19 years of my life growing up in West Virginia. My parents didn't go to church in my really early years, but became friends with a Methodist pastor that was having a revival, and was invited to this revival, and of course I tagged along. I was 7 years old, and all three of us accepted Christ the same night in this Methodist revival. I wasn't always close. Drafted into the Army and had some crazy years, but it was when I got out of the Army and after a period of time finally found a good Bible teaching church where we spent about 10 years. Before I was drafted, I worked at Cook United. They owned the Pick and Pay stores and the Uncle Bill's stores, which are like Walmart today. And at that time, if you went to the military and you came back, your previous employer had to find a position for you. So I went back there until I could find something better, and this was the something better. I think it was when we found that church that did a solid teaching. They just spelled things out, things that I hadn't heard before, and made it seem so real, not only on Sunday mornings, but most of them lived it out during the week.
We did, the homeless ministry?
We did that. We had a group that went downtown every Saturday night. And when I say every Saturday night, if Christmas was on Saturday, if Christmas Eve was on Saturday, they went downtown. But then that's where we got introduced to prison ministry and nursing home ministry, which we've been involved with now for over 20 years.
For the nursing home ministry, every year we would have a get-together, Thanksgiving. We called it a Thanksgiving feast. It was awesome. It was just a beautiful thing.
It was a home-cooked meal. People took everything home and prepared it. For many of them, that was the only day of the year that they got out of the facility. Well, COVID was a big change. Talking nursing homes, they were closed. So I bought a megaphone. And we would just turn on the megaphone and shout out somebody's name, and they would come to the window, and Linda would read a Bible passage or something to the megaphone, and we could still minister that way. That could be us. Whether you go into a nursing home or a jail or down on the street corner to give a homeless person a sandwich, that could be us.
Throughout the years that we've been doing this, we have seen so many different things that have been so rewarding and so comforting and That gives you the motivation to continue, because initially at one of the homes, we would get out of there, we feel drained and tired because that's the enemy attacks, and but yet that's your encouragement to keep going on, and because he doesn't like it what we're doing, but that's okay. We're going to do it because we love people.
And for somebody that may want to get involved with outreach and they're not sure which direction they want to go, I always encourage them, try 2 or 3 different ones, and the Lord will tell you where He needs you. I enjoy watching the Corners kids running up to Linda and giving her the biggest hug they have.
I love receiving those hugs. I love it. I just love serving, especially love children, because I've always loved children, but they're just so special. They're honest. Wow. And God has made them and created them to be that way. And thank you, God.
Yeah, we had spent previous years driving a rather long distance to get to the church that we had helped plant in another area. And it was like, this video popped up, and I thought, Linda, you have to see this. I said, first of all, this is in our backyard. I said, we need to check this out. And we weren't there at the very beginning. You had organizational meetings at the high school before you actually had the first Sunday service, I believe. And we caught that very last organizational meeting. So that's when we came on board. And we'll be here as long as the Lord needs us here.